Hi team, Kelly McCamey wanted to give you guys some leadership tips today. I went to Tom Alkazen's Diamond and Above event a couple of weeks ago in Las Vegas, amazing event, and talked about leadership all weekend. And I'm going to start this by the way Tom started the event, just permission to speak candidly to you guys. This is not going to be one of those feel good, warm and fuzzy, motivational type videos. If you're looking for that, maybe you want to shut it off, because I'm going to, tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear, maybe. I know we've all enrolled people that are so gung-ho, big dreams, big why, I'm going to go out there and do this, and just big talk, and they're excited, and that's good. That's the way you want everybody to start out, but 2 weeks or a month later and they're gone. And why is that? And I think the first place we need to look is ourselves as their leader. What could we have done better? Our job, our role, our responsibility as a leader is to develop leaders from day one. And I think I've come up with about 10 things that I want you to critique yourself on. I want you to evaluate yourself and see how you're doing in these areas. And I know before I do this, you're going to say, oh yeah, I'm doing all 10 of those things. The key is consistently, guys. Are you doing all 10 of these things every single second, minute, day, week, month, year, longevity, short term, long term, focused in these 10 areas all the time as a leader for your team and for your leaders? So before I go over these 10 things really quick, I'm going to share a quote with you. You might have heard Tom say this before, but I just love it. I'm going to repeat it. Leader of one is a leader of many. But if you can't lead one, you can't lead any. Okay, I love that, and it's so true. You've got to learn how to lead yourself first, okay? So here's 10 things to help you improve in those areas. Number one, leaders stay plugged into events, phone calls. Guys, this is your continuing education. Every other industry has it. I don't care if it's the healthcare industry, the real estate industry, educational industry, teachers, principals, contractors, IT, sports. I don't care what industry you're in, it's required to have continuing education. It is in our industry too, okay? And you've got to realize that the only difference is you've got to be the one requiring it. You are your own boss. So you don't have a boss requiring you as you do in other industries, but it's that important. You're firing yourself if you're not plugged in all the time. And you can't expect your team to be either. That brings me to number two. Leaders work on themselves daily through personal development and personal growth. Guys, this is where you learn the skill sets that you want to master to be a pro at this business. It comes through personal development and then practice. Personal development, practice. Going to events, being on phone calls, and then practicing. It's learn to teach and teach to learn. And you've got to have a big balance, an equal balance of that. Number three, leaders don't give up on themselves, and they don't give up on their team or anyone in their team. Guys, Tom Alkazen is a great example of this. Sometimes I think a lot of us don't know his story, and he shared his whole story at that event, and a lot of times I think people think that he just woke up Mr. Pinnacle, okay? That he's 39 years in this industry, and he's had a lot of obstacles, a lot of struggles. He's been where we are. He's been broke. He's been months behind on his mortgage, had to take paper routes and all kinds of things, but he just didn't give up, guys. So and he still hasn't to this day, because he's still working on developing leaders. Number four, leaders always get their questions, their issues, their concerns, their struggles, whatever you're dealing with that's maybe not so positive, whatever you have going on in your business that you're struggling with, you always deal with that upline, not downline, not sideline, okay? Go upline, go to your leaders to get your questions answered and to get help with your struggles. Number five, leaders genuinely care. Leaders have a huge, huge heart for putting others first, serving others, and helping others, taking the eyes off themselves and focusing on their team and who they can help, okay? Number 6, leaders remain teachable and coachable. You know, we see this from the top. BK Barreto, he's always out there learning, staying a step ahead. All of our Royal Ambassadors, and Star Royal Ambassadors, Brad Alkazen, you know, Alex Morton, Matt Morrow, Michelle Barnes, Dan and Kathy Sarver, JD Phillips, I can name them all, guys, but the point is you always hear them always learning, always going to seminars, always looking for that, you know, improving on themselves and remaining teachable, and leaving that ego at the door, and just always a student and constantly improving. Number 7, leaders lead by example. In all of this stuff that I've been talking about, whether it's events, phone calls, personal development, guys, you cannot expect your team to do any of these things if you are not doing it. You've got to do it first. And whatever weak area you've got going on in your organization, whatever the weakest part of your business is right now, that's probably where you're weakest. And so that's where you've got to step up and lead your team by example, and then they'll follow you, and it'll strengthen that area. You've got to step up and do it first. Lead by example. Number 8, leaders stay focused. They stay focused on their team. They stay focused on their business. They stay focused on a system to show their leaders, to develop their leaders on how to take full responsibility for their businesses. They don't build their businesses for them. They don't do things for them, but they're right there holding their hand every step of the way, showing them how. Again, leading by example. Number 9, this is a great one. Leaders travel. I love that one. I don't have to explain that one too much, but you do have to understand that that's what leaders do. And number 10, leaders are great at building relationships. Great at building relationships with their cold market, their newest people, and strengthening those relationships with their team to develop a real family culture, team cohesiveness within their organization. So guys, hopefully that helped you. Bring you some more tips tomorrow. I'm going to get back to these videos and go out there, make it a great day, and apply some of this stuff. Be an amazing leader today. Bye-bye.